Welcome to this video. Well, I'll walk you through creating a new Ruby on Rails app using a dev container. And you don't have to install Ruby or anything else on your computer. You just need to install Docker Desktop, or if you're on a Mac, you can install OrbStack. Now, this is Mac only. If you're on a Windows machine, you can install Docker Desktop. This is just a little bit more efficient than Docker Desktop as of this recording. Now, the other thing that we're going to need to do is download this Rails new command. Since we don't have any Ruby or anything else on our computer, we need a way to create a new app. So this is just a small application that's written in Rust that will basically allow you to create a new Ruby on Rails application. So it says go to the latest release and make sure we download the right one for our platform. So if we're on an M1 Mac, we want the ARC64. And if we're on an Intel Mac, you're going to need the x86 version of this. And of course, if you have a Windows machine or even a Linux machine, there's downloads for you. So you click on the latest release and you got the assets right here. And here is the one for a M1 Mac that you'll want. And then this is an Intel Mac. And then of course you have a Windows PC. So I'm going to show you how to do this for a Mac and then just look for other instructions. The process should be the same for Windows basically, but we're going to go ahead and download this. Now I just put this thing in a directory that I know. I have a developer folder on my laptop, but you can put this anywhere. Just make sure you put the Rails new in and you know how to find it with a command prompt or a terminal window. So you can tell that I opened up Visual Studio Code, got in a terminal, went to my developer folder, and I did a /Rails new. And for Windows, you'll just do the same thing, just run Rails new. Now you can see Mac is a little bit worried. It can't verify the integrity of this, but we are downloading this from GitHub Rails official repository. So it is safe. We just gotta go to our security settings on our Mac and say, hey, this is okay. So don't move it to the trash, just click done, and then go up to your settings and find the privacy and security. Scroll down until you see, hey, this Rails new app was blocked, and you can click allow anyway. After you do that, you should be able to run Rails new. And this is going to pop up again, and you can say open anyway. Now that we have permission to run the Rails new command, we can go ahead and run it to create a new application. And we're including this dev container option so that it will run it inside of containers that will run on either Docker or OrbStack. So that's why we have this option here. Just let me explain these other options. This is to make sure we're using the latest Ruby version and the latest Ruby on Rails version. So make sure you check Canvas to make sure these are the latest, or you can look up the latest versions. And then finally, I'm going to use the Postgres database here since I'm running this in a container. It's really not going to bog down my system much to have the Postgres container, and I don't have to install anything. It'll just be there as part of Docker. And so this is production ready. This is optional. If you don't want to do it, you can use the SQLite database, but that you can't use when you deploy your app to production. And then finally, we have the -C option, which is for SaaS, because we're going to use SaaS in this application. So I can go ahead and press enter and have this run. And you'll just have to sit back and relax because it's going to download the images. If you get any error right now, make sure that you are logged into either OrbStack or Docker Desktop, that you've created an account and logged in, or else you won't have permission to download the images. And now, once we're done with that, we can go ahead and close this terminal, and then I can go ahead and open the folder. I'm going to open that to-do folder that it just created. And we're going to get this thing right here. If this doesn't pop up, I'll show you how to find it, but it says reopen in container. And now you have to wait a while your Docker desktop or your OrbStack boots up your containers, and then you're going to have to connect to it as well. And you can see it's downloading all of our gems, and we're actually connected to our container running inside of our Docker desktop. Now, after it's finished booting and you're in the terminal, this terminal is actually inside of your container running on your container machine instead of your local machine. So it can start up the server by running bin/dev. Once it starts up, you can click this button right here and you can see your application in the container. You can also command click on this URL here if you see that. And when you open it in your browser, you can see that you're on Ruby on Rails. And this is what you need to take a screenshot to show that you got everything installed.